Tonight we'll be splicing each other's timbers, hoisting our main braces and giving the ship's cat a good kicking in the Naval Navigation Show. Let's meet the crew. First of all, my old mate, Ronni Ancona. And something of a figurehead, Johnny Vegas. A bit of a bottom feeder, Jimmy Carr.
One time.
And Roger the cabin boy, it's Alan Davis. Let's hear your naval noises. Ronnie goes... Johnny goes... Jimmy goes...
That's Mexican food.
Alan goes...
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Yeah, no, I meant N-A-V-A-L, not the other kind of naval. First up, a question on nautical names. Now, you each have got a hat. Put them on. There we go.
Sure. I mean, a lot of people would look stupid in this, but me.
So what I want to know is, as you look around the room, how many of you are genuine ship names? Banterer, we've got Ronnie's Spanker. And Flirt, we've got for Johnny, and Titan Uranus.
HMS Flirt?
I like you saying like that. When you said it out loud, then it all made sense.
Yes, sorry. Try to be polite. Titan Uranus. What do you reckon?
Spanker's got to be a ship out of a Carry On film, hasn't it?
Yes.
Reporting for duty, everyone. Welcome aboard the Spanker.
Oh.
Now, hands at the ready. Ooh, naughty.
And it's just... But I happen to know, because of a naval connection.
Oh, what is
but
your
I
naval,
happen
what
to
is
know
your naval
that
connection?
there was...
I think I might have seen it online.
My brother is an admiral in the Navy.
Oh! Whoa!
Yes.
Admiral.
So do you
and
like
my
know
father was
all
a commander.
Your father was a commander in the Navy?
Yeah.
So your brother's done rather better.
My brother...
Yes, because he's got that insurance business on the side, doesn't
No,
he?
my dad backdoored in through the sort of merchant
Did he?
Navy.
A lot of them do, I've heard.
We all tighten Uranus.
If anything, the reverse, I find.
You look so innocent, and then it says Titan Uranus. It's so fantastic.
I'm going to have a lots of fun if I went out on this tonight.
What do you reckon, Johnny? You reckon it's a real... Yours, HMS Flirt? Do you reckon it's a real thing?
Yeah, I reckon HMS Flirt could be the one.
Yeah, it could be.
yeah.
The others might have been nicknames.
Ah, a bit of fun amongst the
Nicknames
sailors.
for ships.
In fact, Spanker, Banterer and Flirt were all, or have been, all ships in the Royal Navy. Titan Uranus was an... there've been two merchant ships, actually. There was an oil tanker and an ore carrier. Lots named after animals. There's been kangaroo, gnat, weasel, zebra.
Is the downside to this not the... I mean, obviously, the Royal Navy, very proud history.
Yes, fantastic.
But occasionally ships get sunk and people die, and then you've got to report back, I'm afraid things did not go well, 60 souls lost on Titan Uranus.
Yeah, well, there are worse ones. Cockchafer.
Well, that is how a lot of the sailors died.
And HMS Pansy.
Oh, that's
favourite,
fantastic.
Happy Entrance. So, just to say. So have a quick look. Imagine you are at sea, and we've got, I don't know, say, HMS Cockchafer, coming at you in the dark, or possibly going away from you in the dark, OK? Can you tell which one it is? Coming towards you or going away?
Well, green towards you, red away?
Not quite. Anybody? Your brother's an admiral, for goodness sake.
Is one port and the other starboard?
One is
that
port and
we're
one is
dealing
starboard,
with?
yes. Do you know which is which?
No.
No, it's quite good to know.
Does anyone know? Red is port. Red is port.
Yes, yeah, I could have told you that. OK. That's how you remember, like, port is red.
And green is sherry.
Green is starboard, and what you say is green to green, red to red, perfect safety, go ahead. So what you would know from this is that the boat is coming towards you, and that would be important information to have when you're at sea.
I definitely would have crashed into that.
Yeah. Well, there is one of my favourite books of all time that you could read to avoid this happening. It was published in 1992, and it is called How to Avoid Huge Ships.
Who is this sold to? Small islands?
It went through several editions. What worries me is that they may have left stuff out in the first edition, and then they thought, oh, that was the other thing I meant to put in. It's ranked as the third oddest book title of all time.
Oh, go on, what are the other two? Come on.
The second, number 2, Greek Rural Postmen and Their Cancellation Numbers.
Yeah, the one about the urban postman I found a bit...
Who's that bothered? This is my favourite. Number 1, oddest book title of all time. People Who Don't Know They're Dead, How They Attach Themselves to Unsuspecting Bystanders and What to Do About It. Put your hat away, please. Right. Time for some salty language now. Complete the nautical rhyme. A pig on the knee.
Pig on the knee, I'm a Tory MP.
So, pig on the knee is actually safety at sea. But the next one is a cock on the right.
Transgender surgery doesn't always go right.
Put out the light.
Put out the light.
Don't take flight.
No, a cock on the right.
The parish priest is strolling tonight.
Poetry from you, John.
I wonder if there are more individual groups of society we can offend. Cock on the right, never lose a fight. It is.
Never lose a fight.
So it was superstitious sailors. They used to get tattoos of a pig on the left knee and a rooster or a cock on the right foot. So pig on the knee, safety at sea, a cock on the right, never lose a fight. Because the idea was that pigs and cockerels were kept in crates on the ships, and when the ships sank, the crates floated and the animals were associated with surviving shipwrecks. So...
I heard that because a pig and a cock can't swim, so God would look at you benevolently and say, I will take pity on you.
Save them.
Can pigs not swim?
But that's what also... I'd heard that as well.
I think famously pigs can't fly.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the Royal Air Force.
They're full of salt. Surely that bobs, doesn't it? Salt.
I don't know, it's going to be a struggle. When I take my baby swimming for the first time and strap 2 pigs to his arms...
Yeah.
And I'm banned from the local swimming, you know what I mean?
And bringing your own food in.
Yeah.
2 packs of bacon on a tight head. Chuck him in, he'll be fine. God is smiling on him.
Lots of great women, tattooed ladies. Nora Hildebrand, she was America's very first professional tattooed lady. This is a wonderful drawing by my friend Sandy Nightingale of Nora Hildebrand. Doesn't she look fab? Fantastic. She had 365 designs tattooed on her. She claimed that she had been captured by a sitting bull and his tribe and tied to a tree and tattooed every day for a year. But, in fact, her dad did it.
I think she...
Yeah, her father Martin.
It's a weirder story.
I think she may have been trying to detract from men staring at her nose.
She was like his showcase, you know, as it were, his window display to say, these are the ones that I can do.
Thank God he didn't own a garage, or he'd have just glued car parts to her.
Yes.
She didn't look like a transformer.
That's a weird thing, though, too. How creepy is that? You walk into a tattooist and say, well, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo, and he goes, well, just look at my daughter for a while. Pick anything you want.
Yeah.
OK.
When you have a tattoo lasered off, what happens to it? Do you know where it goes?
To heaven.
But they can't recycle them, can they? What do you mean?
They don't scrape them off and give them to somebody else. No, so come on, what happens to them? You laser off a tattoo, what?
It goes into your body.
Yes, exactly
into
right.
your body,
So the beams of light heat the ink and it breaks it down into tiny little pieces. It's absorbed into the blood and it is excreted. So it comes out in your poo. So
you see it in your poo and you go, that's what I really wanted.
Yeah. So if you love somebody once...
A tattoo poo.
Yeah, you can poo them away.
If it came out in the wee, you'd stand there going, I'm an octopus.
always make such a mess in the toilet because they're not holding on. It's Here's a naval question you'll know if your brother's an admiral. Why is the Navy salute different to the Army salute? And do you know how it is different?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
The Navy one's more of a... It's more of a... Cooey! Hello, sailor!
That's right, that's the Navy.
That's the Navy.
And the Army is like that, exactly right. Do you know why?
That's the Army.
It's because Benny Hill wasn't in the Navy?
Because...
Might be because their hands were covered in grease and Queen Victoria didn't like it, so she made them, instead of standing like that, she made them stand like that.
Yeah.
So that she couldn't see how dirty their hands were.
Sorry, so then we're meeting the Queen. They went, should we wash our hands? No, it's generally the Queen coming, don't worry about it.
There's a lot of weird Navy things. They toast the Queen sitting down, the Navy. They don't stand up. It's the only services that are allowed to do that. I'm not sure why. It was either William IV or Charles II, and he was coming back to England, and he stood up during the toast, and he bumped his head on a beam, and he announced that from then on the Navy would sit down when drinking. And so now they do. You toast the King and Queen.
They've got all sorts of very interesting language. It's
Jack
a bit
Tar's
rude,
feet.
but actually the term for premature ejaculation is getting off at Fratton, because Fratton is the train station to before Portsmouth. Which is your final destination, really.
Two before, so what's the station just one before? Because sometimes it's not that bad. Sometimes I fall asleep at the station and I'm there for ages.
It's almost too much information for me, really.
Thanks for sharing.
I go to Portsmouth all the time. I shall look at Fratton with new eyes.
Do you?
I do, yes.
No, same here, yeah.
What? Go to Portsmouth?
Oh, no, I thought we were talking about Fratton.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
For some sailors, tattoos were thought to be a real lifesaver. Now, what are these men looking at?
Their feet.
No, there's something
Their
higher up.
genitalia.
I think they're looking...
It's higher
Their
than
navels. They're navel gazing.
Yes. They're engaged in omphaloskepsis, or navel gazing. So the Greek for navel is omphalos. And apparently it's an aid to meditation. It doesn't look like what they're doing, does it? But in some yoga practices, it's regarded as an aid to meditation.
It looks like they're thinking, these pills I bought on the internet are not working. Been bloody ripped off from life.
Yeah, but you can never quite capture in a statue someone crying and going, why me,
true.
God?
Yeah.
Why me?
After having a
Oh, so
couple
that's-
of kids, I tell you, it's not meditative. I just see blind panic when I look at mine.
Well, we should all possibly panic when we look at our navels because the average human navel has about 50 species of bacteria in it.
That one's got a peanut in it. Never mind bacteria, that's a whole peanut.
They're very varied, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah.
belly
There's
buttons.
an innie and an outie and a kind of
Mine,
lateral horizon.
honestly, if you combine it with my man dress, whenever I take my top off, it looks like my midriff has been rejected for a loan. It looks so depressed, like it's filled out all the forms and everything.
But if you stand on your hands, does it look like it's got the
Well, I
load?
could turn upside down and it looks like it's in tax exile. Mine's got real passion. It's got more range than this has.
Do you know why they are innies or outies? Do you know what the reason is?
It's just where they tie it off, isn't
No,
it?
no, it's nothing to do with that at all. So after birth, the umbilical cord is cut, you know, what is it, about an inch or two from the newborn's belly, and then it dries up and falls off as the muscles close up, and the navel is just the scar left, basically, from the base of the cord, and usually it ends up slightly retracted, but sometimes a bit of extra skin stays, that's all, and it makes it stick out, or the muscles don't close off, and you get left with a little tiny protruding hernia.
That one's got a hand growing out of it.
Yes, that is worrying. That is worrying.
A bloody disaster, that.
This is amazing. They can remove your kidney, your gallbladder, through the navel now. They don't even have to do any scarring now.
They've got to ask,
No, they
haven't they?
can-
They do have to ask. Yeah.
Do you a tattoo of a little door?
It beats waking up in a bath on holiday with all the ice around you. Not again.
They can do everything now. They can turn you inside out through your navel.
Can they?
Yeah.
How can they turn you inside out?
You just put your hand in. It's like a duvet cover.
Also, my mum mum's got some loose skin at the back. Next time she's holding drinks, I'm going to try the...
My mum's got some loose skin at the back. Well, I'm sure she's watching this proud as ever. Although Johnny's on television this evening, he's so proud of that.
Her phone's already ringing off the hook.
Imagine if
What's
she's...
this about loose skin on your back? It's the talk of the street.
It's the only work I do that the girls from Bingo watch. But imagine if she was still holding the tray of drinks. And suddenly looking 10 years younger.
Contemplating your navel can bring you both innie and outie peace. It's nice, isn't it?
Oh,
you know
right,
what? When I get angry...
What am I an inch and a half taller than? I'm 5 foot tall.
The cast of Time Bandits.
You are
Kylie Minogue. She's 4'11", isn't she?
You
is
were
tiny.
an inch and a half, God rest his soul, smaller than Ronnie Corbett.
Yes.
He was 5'1.5".
Ronnie Corbett and I worked together often. I remember playing golf with Ronnie, and he said, "Dear God, darling, from a distance we must look like a condiment set." Tribute to him, one of the funniest men I ever worked with.
Oh,
just a delight.
Is it a naval thing? Is it anything to do with naval?
It is about exploration, it's about travel, but it's about travel in a different direction.
Oh,
so away
is it roller coasters?
Space, yes, it's space. Yes, it's the minimum height for NASA. You need to be 4 foot 10 and a half, and the maximum is 6 foot 4. Basically, you need to be tall enough to reach the controls and not too tall to fit in the seat. The weird thing is that in space, I'd quite like to go, because you grow 2 inches because of the lack of gravity. So you could go into space and exceed the height limit. If you started out at 6 foot 4...
Surely it all comes crashing down once you land.
Yeah, I mean...
Get nearer and nearer the Earth.
But what if
so
you're
nearly
up
home,
in
love.
space, you're up in space,
Yeah.
and then they suddenly tell you you're too tall?
Well, when astronaut Scott Kelly came back from the International Space Station, he had a twin brother. They had been the same height when he had left, and he was 2 inches taller than his brother when he got back. Once you get back to Earth, you shrink back pretty quickly. And the other thing, this would be very good. You'd like this, darling. It's very good for your figure, OK? So
Why would that be good for me, Sunday? I'm dying to know.
Because your chest and navel might get a loan.
Yeah.
What happens is in space, the internal organs move up inside the torso, so your waist shrinks by several inches. So on Earth, for example, the human leg muscles, they pump blood into the upper body against gravity, but in space, no gravity, so the blood and fluids get pumped upwards, and you get these buffed-up torsos.
Can you get breasts that sit above your clavicles, then? That'd be great.
You sound like that's something that people want. They go, oh!
You can eat a pizza and keep it there for 2 weeks.
If you just got bad acid indigestion, you could do
That's
that.
a reflex.
No, I'm used to reflux.
I'd quite like to see you in space. I think it'd be great.
Would you like to go?
I would love to go, and I wish they would send some poets and some artists up there so that we can get a bit more of an idea of what it actually... Because whenever you see one interviewed, they go, yeah, it's very nice.
Just send Will Self to do a video diary. The majestic splendour of Earth is a little disappointing. 14 days without a cigarette now.
Yes.
The minimum height for a NASA astronaut is 4 foot 10 and a half, so hope for me yet. Now it's time for us to pull out the bungs and immerse ourselves in the murky waters of general ignorance, so fingers on buzzers, please. What is the fastest swimming stroke? Jimmy.
Dolphin.
Well, dolphins are jolly quick, but even they can't do this stroke.
But they could probably beat whoever's doing
What
it.
they can do, which we can't do, we create a bow wave when we're swimming, and dolphins are able to leap over it, so there's no water resistance.
So, points for that, then.
But no,
100%
it is
right.
no. It is the
100% right, though.
fastest swimming stroke.
Are we looking for a human stroke?
human
or
one.
we can say
It is a stroke that humans can do, but we got it from somewhere else.
a butterfly.
Oh, I like it. We got it from the butterfly. I like that.
The backstroke.
No, it's not the butterfly, it's not the crawl.
Doggy paddle.
The tumble turn.
When they turn and then they swim, do you know what they do then?
Oh,
That sort of wiggling underwater
The
bit.
wiggly underwater thing, it's called the fish kick.
Oh, you know what else they
Fish
call
kick.
it? They call it the dolphin. That's exactly what a dolphin does. So, literally points, because, I mean, that is a dolphin.
No, 'cause-
He's doing a dolphin.
In Jimmy's defence, they don't wear Speedos, but they look very similar.
They do look very similar. You're only allowed to swim underwater for the first 15 metres, so that's why people don't do it in competitive swimming. Now, what did Highland warriors wear at the Battle of Bannockburn?
Kilts.
no, not kilts.
No. Here's a random Scandinavian fact.
Okay.
The word kilt comes from the Danish word kilte, meaning tuck. So it's actually a Danish word. Used for yes, that's rather fine. But medieval Scottish warriors did not wear kilts when they went into battle. What did they wear? Anybody know?
Dungarees.
Pantaloons.
No, it was a yellow tunic.
A yellow
A
tunic?
yellow tunic called a lane croich.
I love the bloke on the left's got one of those umbrella hats from the fair.
Yes, they're rather fine, aren't
He's
they?
trying to knock it off. That's a stupid hat. It's not even in it!
What was weird? They used saffron to make them yellow, but if they didn't have saffron, they used to use a...
Urine.
Yes. Horse
Very
urine.
keen on the yellow then.
Pushtin chunna.
Yeah.
Well, urine was in all the tweeds as well, because they used to use it to fix the colours in the tweeds.
Yeah, but still, you know, can we not make it green from the grass? No, keep on pissing on it.
Yeah.
That horse has got the hots for the painter.
Yeah, he's looking right at him, isn't he?
Now you're getting my best side. Don't paint the twat in the umbrella hat. God.
It's just weird that we do have a sort of image, don't we, of the kilt being part of the
Very much
attire.
so.
But in fact, it was invented for a totally different reason. It was a...
Invented for weddings. They're always in weddings.
No, it was a...
Sometimes you can have too much material for a kilt. I'll just wrap it around here, don't worry about it.
One day they'll invent scissors.
But it was actually invented in the 1720s by an English Quaker and industrialist, a man called Thomas Rawlinson, and he wanted a safer item of clothing for his employees, his Scottish employees, in his iron foundry.
Can I suggest you don't go north of the border and mention that fact?
Well, the word tartan comes from Middle French. They won't like any of it, really. The word kilt is Danish. None of it's good.
Did he have a shop for tourists in Edinburgh? Was that why he was secretly...
Have you ever been in one of those shops that says, we can find the tartan for any surname?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently not.
No.
Sorry, how do you explain what you're wearing?
Yes, the great Danish Toksvig tartan that I'm... If you're so hungry you could eat a kilt, don't eat the yellow ones. There you are, that's the advice. Name a cold-blooded creature.
Lizard.
So there are some.
Yes, they
yes,
are.
but there are also...
That's why they like the sun to warm up.
There are
We've
also...
had it on here before. I learnt that on here.
Yes.
He's spent 10 years doing this show for pieces of information like that.
But I've arrived with new information.
Oh, no.
Simon Cowell.
There are, in fact, warm-blooded lizards and, indeed, warm-blooded fish. Almost all reptiles. You're absolutely right. That's a horrible picture.
That's not a good one, though.
That is a jackaroo caiman eating a catfish.
Or the catfish eating a caiman's tongue.
Yeah. Almost all reptiles and fish are cold-blooded, so they depend on their surroundings to heat them up. However, in 2015, we have just new news. Scientists have discovered warm-blooded lizards and fish. Oh, I know. So that lizard there on the left can heat itself up to 10 degrees warmer than its environment, and nobody knows why.
And they both live together?
No, they don't. Those are... Well, they look surprised, and the fish looks very surprised. It's called an opa fish. It's the only completely warm-blooded fish.
How is it the only one? Is it just really awkward? I'm sorry, how do you become the only fish that's warm-blooded out of a whole... Or did it just have an overburning mummy made it a hot water bottle and it just ate it and had an idea?
It's a really good question, Johnny, because the fact is we don't know how warm-bloodedness evolved.
It's a hot water bottle.
And then
It looks like a hot
decided
water bottle shape.
Well, was that more prevalent post the wipeout of the dinosaurs? Isn't there a theory that they died because of the change in temperature?
Well, the thing is, dinosaurs were neither warm-blooded nor cold-blooded, but they were somewhere in between.
They were just right, weren't they?
Yeah, they were just right.
They like to sit on the
had lovely Goldilocks blood.
Because there are disadvantages to being warm-blooded, OK? Because one of the things is you have to keep eating to get fuel to maintain the constant body temperature. So if, for example, a lion was as big as a Tyrannosaurus rex, it probably wouldn't be able to eat enough to survive.
But isn't there the theory on the dinosaurs where they died out because over a certain temperature all the eggs hatched as male, and below a certain temperature they all hatched as female, and then the temperature went down and they all hatched as female, and then there were no one to mate with?
Well, there are as many theories about how the dinosaurs.
But that's the
were
correct
related.
one.
The
one that I can vaguely remember, I'm 90% sure is 100% correct.
There's someone who's never watched King Kong. Massive gorilla, mate. Twatted all of them.
Well, that spoiled the end of that film. Now, what was the name of the village where Napoleon was defeated in 1815?
Well, it definitely was. I mean, 100%.
Yes, go.
It was Waterloo.
So it was.
Yeah, well, it definitely was.
It wasn't.
No. The Battle of Waterloo did not take place at Waterloo. It is called that because it's where the Duke of Wellington stayed the night after the battle, and it's where he wrote to his superiors about the battle. But in fact, most of the battle happened a few miles away in the municipalities of Braine, Lude and Lasne.
You'd be really pissed off if you were a little village or a little town and your claim to fame was a massive victory and you had to spend all the time going, no, it was here with us.
It's a few miles up.
So I'm going to write to ABBA now, but what's the name of it? What should the song be called? What should it be called?
The municipality of Braine, Lude.
That's a bit difficult to rhyme, but OK.
Yeah.
Municipality.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to ruin Mamma Mia, but fine, have it your way.
I know. The Battle of Waterloo didn't happen in Waterloo, and finally, who wore the trousers in Britain in the 18th century?
No one.
Somebody did. One class of person. Where have we been from the beginning? Where did we...
sailors.
Sailors. Absolutely right. It was only sailors. Men wore breeches and women wore skirts, and trousers were specifically defined in a 1780 nautical dictionary as a sort of loose breeches of canvas worn by common sailors.
So what about your officer class? They'd have breeches,
They would have
wouldn't
breeches on, yes. In fact, the Duke of Wellington was once thrown out of a club for wearing trousers.
All been there, eh, Johnny? Because of your trousers.
In the 18th century, the only people who wore trousers were Jolly Jack Tars. And that's your lot for tonight. Time to settle the old scores. Well, it's an outright win with a magnificent 7 points. It's Ronni! In second place, and I'm very surprised because he had winner written all over him, but with 1 point, it's Johnny! With -2, it's Jimmy!
-2. What was the point? What was the point of that?
And an epic fail, -36, Alan! Well, that brings us to the end of our naval adventures, thanks to Ronni, Jimmy, Johnny and Alan. And I leave you with this nautical headline from the Western Daily Press. Fish rescued from a large pool of water. Good night.